Hey, thanks a lot for joining me. Today I'm going to tell you 3 tips for living a happier life. Now, I implement all of these and I can tell you that my life is way better than it was last year. Oh my gosh, I can give you the details about that later, but make sure you stick around for the 3rd tip because it's honestly one of the weirdest things that I could suggest that someone do, and I really don't tell people to do it often, but it's so effective, and it's changed my life actually within 2 days. So stick around for the 3rd tip. All right, let's do tip number 1. My first suggestion to you is to wake up and immediately write down 10 things you're grateful for. If you're trying to be happier and more positive in your life, one of the best things that you can do is surround yourself with positivity as soon as you wake up and right before you go to sleep. So what I do is I read this letter up here. It's a letter that I wrote to myself, to my younger self, explaining to her how everything in her life basically prepared her for the success that I'm experiencing today. And if you're not familiar with inner child work, I would look into it, but it is very important and effective for, becoming a new version of yourself that is happier and more at peace. I also have this awesome gratitude journal. It's got one side that prompts for 10 things you're grateful for. On the other side are just a few prompts about, today I'm releasing all the negatives and only holding on to the positives because I am blank. And I fill this out every morning and it's really nice. So what you want to do when you write down 10 things you're grateful for is to go back and read through each one of them slowly. And at the end, after you finish reading each one, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you try to feel it within your chest, that feeling of gratitude for what you have. And remember, there's a million bajillion things for every single one of us to be thankful for every day. Can you see? If you can see, you should be grateful for that because there are people who can't see. Can you walk without assistance? You should be grateful for that because there are people who cannot. Can you breathe the air around you? Etc., etc. Do you have food in your fridge? Do you have clean water? Do you have a blanket that keeps you warm at night? There's a million things for every single person to be grateful for. And to start your day off on that note really helps. My second suggestion to you is to do something different, to try to get out of your routine at least a couple times a week, if not more. The reason for this is because doing the same thing every single day is the best way to become depressed, to become stagnant, and to go through that feeling of just not wanting to get out of bed at all. Joe Dispenza says that when people struggle to get out of bed, it's because their mind, they know, they're predicting what's going to happen throughout the day because it's the same thing that happens every day and it's always mundane and it's always boring and comfortable. So the way to break out of this is to do something different. Make yourself uncomfortable. And I know that sucks. I know. It's so nice and so tempting to want to go home and lay on the couch and watch Netflix until 11 p.m. after work. But if you can drag yourself to the gym, you're gonna feel so good after, and you might just experience something amazing that changes your life. Maybe you meet your future business partner, or maybe you save someone from getting hit by a car when crossing the street and they give you $10,000. I don't know. Switch up your routine and awesome things will happen to you. Want some suggestions for how to get out of your comfort zone? Here's one. Every couple months or so, I do a water fast where I spend a whole day drinking nothing but water, usually with some lemon and a little bit of salt in it. And then the next day I feel really, really good, not only because it helps digestion, but also because it's an accomplishment to go a whole day without eating any food. Another suggestion I have is if you sometimes feel down and you don't feel very good, just really low energy, maybe try going outside to a nice quiet spot and dancing to some music if that's not what you usually do. Try to do something different when you're not feeling good, or even when you are feeling good, but you don't have that satisfied feeling. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Switch it up. Hello, congratulations. You made it to my 3rd suggestion. Now, this one is going to be really weird, but I can tell you that if you try it, remember that not all suggestions for things you can do on a daily basis are going to work for you. Then I mean things that will make your life better. But the point is to try a bunch of different ones and see what does work for you. And I recently found this method for healing negative energies, negative emotions that works so well. And in 2 days, I went from a pretty severe level of and relationship sabotage to feeling like almost a brand new person. So let me show you what I do. What you're looking at here is my journal, I suppose. Yeah, it's a notebook, but whatever, it works. And what I do when I notice when I'm feeling like crap, and honestly, it might take a little practice for you to realize when you actually are feeling like crap, but when I'm feeling down, and usually it's because something bad happened, I did something stupid, and oh yeah, there's a lot of profanity. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but you might be able to see what it says. And basically, I let all of my thoughts come out on paper without thinking. I just write. The first time I tried to do this, it was messy and the writing didn't have any structure to it. It wasn't readable. But with practice, and actually I came back to this recently because I heard about it as a technique a while ago and I just tried it seriously fairly recently, like 2 days ago actually. I found that my thoughts to myself were very clear and that I could write them down easily without thinking about them, or rather without making the choice to write them down. They just float out onto the paper. And they're very, very negative. But if you notice, there's two people, or personalities rather, speaking here. This one is my neutral self. And this one is one of my other selves. So this comes from Jungian psychology called shadow work, and basically it's about letting these negative parts of your mind speak, where normally we repress them and we keep them inside and they act out and they cause us to feel bad when something happens. And by doing this, you can just give them a voice and they eventually will go away, and that's what happens. Actually, that's what happened to me. So, and this happened over the course of 2 days, but I've been working on this for a really long time. Thanks a lot for watching. I really hope this helped you. I hope you picked up some useful tips. I really recommend the personality journaling, you know, speaking from different places in your mind. This is also kind of a bit like pillow work. If you look up pillow work, you might be able to find a description of how that goes, and this is very similar, although you're just writing down your thoughts instead of speaking them out loud. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you next time, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more tips and vlogs from my life as a young entrepreneur.